Today, most of the fonts we use were created by men. Making a typeface used to involve an amount of physical labor that was considered inappropriate for women, and many who tried to enter the field were flat out denied. Fortunately, the introduction of the personal computer brought new industry standards and gave more people, especially women, access to font designing. However, the world was not without female-designed typefaces before this change in technology. Elizabeth Friedländer, born in 1903, became the first woman to design a commercial Latin typeface. She was creative from a young age, playing violin in addition to her calligraphic talent. She studied under typography legend E.R. Weiss at the Berlin Academy, learning to design with precision and clarity. His mentorship gave her the opportunity to design a typeface at a time when most women were being rejected from printing schools. Friedländer was contacted directly by George Hartmann, the head of the Bauer Type Foundry, to design a typeface for them. Their close correspondence on this project was to blossom into a lifelong friendship. Hartmann fought to see her typeface through, despite living in a time where Jewish designers were losing their licenses to work. Typically, a typeface's name used the designer's surname, but a typeface with a Jewish name wouldn't stand a chance at circulation. Hartmann proposed the name Elizabeth-Antiqua to avoid anti-Semitic interference, but the use of her first name remains a testament to the disrespect she endured. She fled Germany in the 1930s as Elizabeth-Antiqua was being cut. In her asylum-seeking letters, she described herself as a lonely woman in the world, reliant on her work to support herself. She ultimately settled in England, where she found a family amongst the close-knit designers in room 611 of Bush House, London. The artists of 611 were secretly tasked by the government to make counterfeit German papers and booklets to aid the Allies' war efforts. The few surviving accounts of Friedländer describe her as a demure spinster, a somewhat quiet and modest woman. Curiously, Elizabeth-Antiqua was also described as demure and elegant. Despite this shy persona, her story shows she must have been a truly brave person. Her perseverance allowed her to do the work she loved, as well as express her love to the people in her life. She was known for giving her friends handmade books and cards on special occasions. Her art was not just her job, but a way to share joy with her loved ones. She eventually moved to Cork, Ireland to be with her partner, Alessandro McMahon. Her friends described him as her lifelong companion and protector. Although they lived in separate cottages and never married, they attended parties and co-hosted dinners as a couple. She never returned to Germany, a fact she regretted after George Hartmann passed. She didn't feel she was able to. The Nazis had taken her homeland from her, even after their defeat. Upon her death in 1984, her violin was donated to the Cork Municipal School of Music, so it could be given to the outstanding student of each year. Today, Bauer offers a digitized version of Elizabeth-Antiqua in their Bauer Classic Collection under the name Elizabeth ND. Friedländer is the only woman with a font on the Bauer website. Many of the fonts Bauer sells were made by masters of the older generation, men from a bygone era. Bauer also describes Friedländer's immigration to England as simply being due to the war, without mentioning the anti-Semitic threat that forced her to leave. Such a sanitized version of events goes against Friedländer's deepest held value as a designer, la chiarezza, or clarity. Unfortunately, a lot of Friedländer's story suffers from a lack of clarity. Her life was not thoroughly documented, with whole years going unaccounted for. Pauline Pocker's book, New Borders, The Working Life of Elizabeth Friedländer, describes her professional life, but a lot of questions remain about who she was as a person. One of the clues we do have is a poem written by her friend during her time in room 611. It was left for her in an autographed book, given to her by the other designers at Bush House. Elizabeth, a stranger still to death, registers in this place her sum of days. Although he knows her name, death for the life of him cannot recall her face. Alas, her lovely face.